Hello! Oh, what a great day today. Saturday, and it's absolutely raining here, so what a better time than to sit indoors and do some crafting. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Always helps us as well. We'll say, well, we've got quite a few people here already on a Saturday, so I'll say hello to a few people. We have PJD. Hi, PJD. We have Gail, Hazel. Helen's here in the background as well, so hello, Helen. We have Kathy, Hazel, I did say Hazel, Ali, Linda, Ellie, and Nicole. So yeah, it's great to see you all here today on as I say, on an awful kind of day, really. But it's great to be doing a bit of crafting. So I thought today I was going to do some mixed media. So I'll wait for a few seconds, a few people more to pop in and arrive. So hi, Sue. Oh, and Trudy is here as well. So yeah, it's great to see everybody here. Mixed media. Again, you can do it as kind of clean and simple. I did some clean and simple cards the other day. We're going to do a kind of mixed media project. So this is where we can get our sprays out, our texture pastes, stencils, some stamping as well. So we're going to have a bit of a play with a project. There was a few people on my last live when I was doing a clean and simple. I showed them a mixed media project that I did a while ago. So I will show you that. So let's have a look. So this is what I had shown people the other day. This was a mixed media piece that I'd done. Crikey, I don't even remember when I did it. It's probably it's over a year ago, I would say. It could be longer, but this is the kind of thing we're going to do today, but totally different. You know, it's the same principle, but in a different way. So I think with this one, obviously I was in my kind of dark kind of mode. It must mean maybe it was winter. So yeah. Obviously, we used the moth, and yeah, that's a great stencil. We've got a lovely stencil going on in the background. That's called Collision. Really nice one there. There's texture paste going through that. We're using this particular one. We used the Glimmer of Light stamp set, which is lovely. Great kind of death's head moth there. Again, if you're not really keen on the skull, you can always colour it in or put something on top. But yeah, just playing around with some sprays. And this is basically on a piece of cardboard, so really easy to do, very effective. So I'll begin now, since we've got quite a few people here. I'll just quickly go through what I'm going to use today. So let me just move that out of the way. So today, let me just zoom that out. So I'm going to be using the butterfly effect. So this is kind of like a kind of summary version of that mixed media piece. So we're going to use this it's an A5 set, it's a big set, but it's great. It's got it's got so many stamps in there. Nice, really large butterfly there. We've got some great stamps there, sentiments. We've got change one thing, change everything. Lots of sentiments in there. Some really cool stamps. We've got some circles there, lovely. This is a great set, absolutely stunning. Now what's cool about this set is we also do have the matching die, so that will be die cut out as well. So that's great to have that together. That really works well. Also, I shall be using the breakout stencil, one of my favourite stencils of all time. So yeah, again, always nice to have, especially if you want to create a focal point in the middle of your project. Now, what I'm not going to use today, but I want to show you anyway, is what I could have done was, if I'd wanted to, with this particular one, if I wanted to, I could have used this stencil, which is the butterfly ink, and guess what? This works with that. So if you've got that stencil, then that will work exactly perfectly with that set. So I could have put texture paste through that as well. So again, that's a great stencil to have, especially when they work together so well. Don't they work so well together? That looks amazing. Likewise, with a relations to these particular sets, is we do have, or also have, is our antisocial butterfly stamp set, which is a really nice set. You've got different words in there. Again, antisocial butterfly relates to the fact that, you know, some people are a little bit shy, and although they're obviously beautiful inside, maybe you know, they don't like to they like to shy away from you know, social spaces. But that's a great set, because with that, that's a match. You see, that will work the same way, and also we've got a die as well. So that's obviously a smaller version. But again, they work so well together. You know, a lot of different sets will work across the same kind of range. So if you've got a few of our butterflies, then they're going to work amazingly together. That's guaranteed. So, shall we make a start? So the first thing I want to do is, I'll just say a few more. We're going to have Mary as well, and Nessa. Hiya, Mary and Nessa. And Maxine. If I haven't already said hello to Maxine, I'm saying it again. Okay. So, we want to start with just a piece of cardboard. This is actually it's probably an Amazon box. Nothing too. Again. Now the only thing I would say is if you're cutting out a piece of cardboard, please do be careful when you've cut it. Quite often these can be razor sharp, the edges. So if you've had paper cuts before, getting yourself a cardboard cut is even worse. I can assure you of that. It does hurt. So just be careful when you're cutting out, and obviously just be careful with the edges, because if you're not careful, you will definitely cut yourself. So now, one thing I want to know is, one thing I want to say is it does make a difference as to which way you cut it. Obviously, the corrugated cardboard, obviously, because if you look at the side of it, this is going to run those horizontally, so that those corrugates would run horizontally. I mean, you could cut it that way, but obviously you're going to get a different look. So that's just one thing to bear in mind. So where we're going to start now is, I'm just going to get the cardboard, and all I'm going to do is, if you just pick a few of the sides here, just grab a few of the edges of this cardboard, and what you want to do is you want to just peel away. Just grab with your finger and just start peeling back some of that corrugated cardboard. So, because you want that on show. I do like that to be shown sometimes. So just peel back a few layers of that so you get this lovely corrugated look. You want to do that a few times around there. Again, just kind of random. You don't have to be too particular as to where you go it, which way you do it. Again, this is where all the fun happens. So just peel off as much or as little as you want of that, just till you get that kind of look that you're after. So I'll do a little bit on this side as well. That's all right, Amy. I've just started, so you know. And in fact, if you're on YouTube, you can kind of rewind live. I'm sure you can do that. Don't quote me on that, but I'm sure you can do that. So this is just a piece of cardboard. So again, you know, you're just ripping it off randomly. Might take a bit off the bottom here as well, and just there. See that it's going to give you that lovely texture that you're after. So just rip it till you get a kind of look that you're after. So you get the general idea. So that's where we're going to start now. Now the next thing we want to do is I'm going to get a piece of tissue. I'm just going to put it underneath because we're going to prime this first of all. If you don't have, I mean, I've got some. This is gesso. There are lots of brands there. This is a Pebio one. If you don't have any gesso, then just use acrylic white paint. You can get away with using that quite easily. I have done loads of times before I had gesso. It works just as well, in my opinion. Right, so you've got your gesso. Get yourself a brush. Nice. I've got a nice flat kind of brush here, and I'm just going to dip in there, and I'm just going to cover this with white paint. This is white gesso. Obviously, on the previous piece that I've shown you, this was done with black gesso. So you can get black and white, or just use black acrylic paint. So this one's got. I'm using white. So again, it doesn't take long to paint. And you probably want to maybe do it once or twice give it 2 coats. I would say give it 2 coats just to take away the majority of the kind of cardboard colour. So I'm not being too fussy here the first time. Just go quickly over the top of it, just filling in those edges there that you want, and we can swipe and make it nice and neat in a second. So just going over this. Hi Dana, no you're not late. You're not late at all. It's absolutely fine. I'll quickly run over this, run over where I've got to so far for people late to the party. Let me finish this first. So I'm just covering this with white gesso. Again, you know, if you don't have gesso, please just use your white acrylic paint or whatever white paint that you've got. You can get away with that. Even emulsion, I suppose you could get away with using emulsion as well, if you don't have anything else. So let's just quickly just make that as neat as you can. Again, this is the first coat, so you probably want to give it 2 coats, obviously to make it whiter. So, and I'm going to do this once, just quickly once, because I've already got one that I've pre-done. And I'm going to quickly dry this off. So even though I've given it 1 coat, I'm going to quickly dry it off because I want to show you guys something else as well. So if you're late to the party, what we're going to use today is, I'll just quickly go over it, is we're going to be doing a project which is similar to this one here. But I'm going to use a butterfly, and this is going to be white, and obviously this is kind of more dark. So so it's going to be a project like that, really easy to achieve, and I'm going to show you how I achieve that. Oh, that's fine. Oh, and Brenda's here as well. That's okay, Brenda. It's great. It's no problem at all. The products I'm going to quickly use today, we're going to be using the butterfly effect, which is great. And the die that goes with that, great set. I'm going to use breakout stencil. Yeah, so that's basically what we're going to be using today. So again, just if you're late to the party, all I've got was a piece of cardboard, and obviously just be careful when you're cutting cardboard. You don't want to get yourself cut. I've torn some of the layers off there to reveal the corrugated look on the cardboard, because it's a nice look to give it. I'm going to quickly dry this off because I will show you what I do next. So I'm going to give it 2 coats on this one. So just quickly dry this in between a coat as quickly as I can. So I'll read a few comments. All right, okay. Well, I hope Brenda's saying about her husband's had a cataract done. No, I hope he's okay, Brenda. I've got cataracts myself, very early. Cataract in one eye, very early stage yet. So I think my optometrist is keeping a close eye on that. So yeah, Maxine's there as well. So it's great to see everybody. I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased that everyone can join me today. So just give this a quick dry. You don't have to be totally dry on this first layer. The gesso does dry very quickly, and I will give it another coat. Again, if you add a little bit of water to it, you can probably sometimes get a smoother effect, but it really does depend on the look you're going for. Because I'm going to spray this. Again, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to see it underneath the spray, and the gesso works really well because it's a good key. It helps anything else that you stick to it, and the colour comes through more vibrant as well. So those who don't know. So again, just quickly go over that, and I think we'll stop there. I'll just quickly dry this off. Put my lid back on. And gesso, if you buy yourself a big tub, it will last you absolutely ages. So I'm going to just dry this now. Oh, that's great, Brenda. I'm glad he's I'm glad he's on the mend. You are his eyes and ears for the moment. So again, just quickly dry this off, and then we can apply some texture paste as well. So just quickly go over these areas now. Again, you can let this dry naturally if you want to, but you know, doing live stuff, and I'm impatient as well, so it's a little bit tacky, but we'll carry on with this now. I want to do some stenciling on top of this, so with texture paste. So I'll just give it a little bit more of a dry, just for a second. Right, I think we'll stop there with that. So the next thing we want to do is we'll get our stencil. So the stencil I'm using today is the, I don't know if you can see it white on white. Right, let's move that out of the way. So that's it when it's finished. The stencil I'm using is this one, which is the breakout stencil. Great for if you want a focal point on your project. It's absolutely perfect. So I'm just going to decide where I'm going to place the stencil. Drop it down. Now get a palette knife, and you want to get some texture paste. I've got loads of different kinds of texture paste. The one I've grabbed at hand, the first one is just it's a white Ranger one. Just use any one that you've got, whether it be a smooth texture paste or a rough one or gritty, but they're all really cool. So whatever you've got. So all I'm going to do is I'm putting white texture paste over the top of the white. Now this is going to give you a project that kind of that touchy-feely kind of and grungy look that you're looking for. Don't have to be perfect on here either. You can be if you want to. If you want to, you know, be very particular as to filling every piece of the stencil, you can. But you know, sometimes less is more, and it's got that more natural kind of feel going on. So I'm just going to peel that off. Now I'm going to lift this up to light because you won't be able to see white on white. So just move that out to the way for a second. So let me just zoom in there. So if I can just show you now. Now you've got that really cool effect going on that stencil. Can everyone see that? Hi Rachel, Rachel's here as well. Oh, Amy's asking me something about do I display all of these pieces? Do you ever get rid of a card after a period of time? Probably, yes. Quite often I give them away. We sometimes give, you know, I give away my projects to people and to some shops as well. So yeah, so there we go. So now you can see a bit of texture paste on there. Now with the texture paste, you do want to let this dry. And I just happen to have one that I have done dry, which I did about half an hour ago. So that should be dry now. So let me just bring that in. So again, exactly the same. Zoom in there. So this is one that is dry. And I kind of this corrugated card, it's got, I don't know, it's got little dimples in it, so I like that added texture. Whereas this one is different. It's not quite the same, but I like that as well. And as I say, I just ripped off some of that more of that layer of card there to give that the texture that you're after. So this one is now dry. That one's not that's wet. I'll move that to one side. So next we want to this is where we start having a little bit of fun, and we'll do some spraying. This is where all the inky messiness gets in now. I'm glad people can see that, because obviously that looks really, really cool like that. So we'll just a little bit of a tray going on here. So just place that down so I can see where I'm spraying, and so you can see as well. In terms of colours, I've got lots and lots of sprays. So I'm going to be using distress sprays. I've got oxides as well. I'm just going to mix them all up. I can't, and I'll try and tell you what one I'm using as I'm using it, just because you may want to know. Again, there's no set pattern to this, so just spray, and then you've got to get, you know, you'll get to a point where you're really happy with what you've achieved. So So let's start off with a little bit of yellow. Now I do like that, this Kitsch Flamingo. This is the oxide, so I'll be using a bit of that as well. And also be using a little bit of water, spritzing that with water as well. I do like that running down like that as well. So a little bit of water there. I shall also, next I'll be using, I'm just going to go through the kind of colours that will kind of work with what I've got in my head. So we'll just go through this and we'll see how it ends up. This is wild honey, so a little bit of wild honey there as well. And one of my favourites is, I love this cracked pistachio as well. So that's a nice colour as well, I like that one. And it wouldn't be the same without the picked raspberry as well. This is picked raspberry. So just let those colours run down a bit. I think I'm going to go with, what colour I like that one. Some broken china. And as you see, you started with that stencil now. The texture now is starting to come to life. It's really come to life now. Just like having those colours run down. That looks really cool as well. I'm just going through a colour I haven't used yet. Oh, bit of frayed burlap. I like this colour. It's good for beach scenes. I do like that one as well. So it's kind of not a colour that you would think that would be good, but that does work really well. And this is Lost Shadow. I'm using some of the latest colours that have come through, so that's good. Again, as I'm doing it, just hold your project up and get some of those colours to start drying a bit there. Just drag them down. Now what you do want to do is, you'll get to a point where you think, I want to dry some of this off a little bit before you add anything else. So that's what I'm going to do, just dry a little bit of this off. And then you can add a few more colours, especially if you want to add something a little bit darker or a little bit shimmery colours. I've got some shimmers here which I'm going to use in a minute. And as you can see, sometimes when you're drying stuff off, you'll see that like a patch here. Maybe I want to go back in with that, a patch there and a patch there as well. So just bear that in mind in your head as to where you're going to go next. And I do love this kind of like turquoisey and the pink working together. That looks really nice as well. So we're just going over that now, drying some of that off. Janine's here as well, so that's okay. You can always rewind if you're on YouTube. You can always rewind it live. If not, you can always go back after. We're just creating something a little bit different. Now, I've got a little space here, so I think I'm going to go back in with a little bit of picked raspberry. Actually, I'm looking for I have got a candied apple somewhere. Or I'll do like candied apple. Yes. So I think I'm going to have a little bit of candied apple. This is a spray. Oh, that's very red. Not too much with that. And a little bit more of that picked raspberry. And a little more. Cracked pistachio is a great colour. If you haven't got that as a colour, I would recommend getting it. It's one of the colours I really do like. Now, sometimes when you see it like that, you go, that I don't like that. But then you kind of just let that colour run a little bit, and you're going to get something magical appearing. So we get our little bit of kitchen roll. Just dab some of that out. If you're not happy with it, just dab it out. Just dab it out and go back in. Get to a point that you're really happy with those colours. A bit more broken china there. Okay. And don't forget, when you're drying this off, it's not going to be as bright or as vivid as you think it's going to be. So keep on going back in there until you're really, really happy. And I'm not going to stop until I'm happy with it. Now you will notice as well is that when I did the texture paste for the main item, I added a little bit more on the bottom here of texture, which you'll see shortly when I spray it. And I know it's looking for my mustard seed. Right. You know, you keep on going until you are totally and utterly happy with the result. And one of my favourite techniques or tricks, as I call it, the things that I like to do, is that you know, if something is a little bit too dark for you, just take some of your white and just spray that over the top. I'm just drying this off before I do that. I don't want the colour to mix, so I'm just. In fact, I want a different white. Right. So this is I like to mix all my sprays up. So this one is a dilutions. Again, that's just going to give a hint of colour. And don't forget, when you're heating this and drying it off, it's not going to appear as bright as it was, which is great. It's just going to lessen that colour. PJD doesn't have sprays. Seriously? Oh. Yes, you do need sprays. Sprays make the world of difference. You know, until I started using sprays, well. And what I like to do is that, you know, it never comes out the same as what you think it's going to do. Every time is always going to be totally different. So I just need to dry this off. We're getting there. Just be patient with it. And I say, if you're not happy with something, always just go back in there with a little bit more white. It will mix a little bit with that colour, but that's great because that's going to fade that out a little bit. And I do like that kind of colour that's running down there. That's really nice. I like that really a lot. Okay. Oh, Linda's using Craft Fusion sprays. All right, okay. All right, okay. I haven't got Craft Fusion sprays. So I'm kind of getting there now, and I'm thinking it's pretty much dry. Just give it a little bit more drying time. I will take it out of here now because I think I'm not going to stop spraying now. Just move that to one side so you can see that a little bit more. Right. Okay. So, oops, how's that looking now? I think I like that. You know, again, it's going to be totally different to this. I've decided I've got some kind of sprays, gold mica sprays going on there, so I might add some mica sprays to that as well. That'd be really nice. I think that's a good idea. So the colour I've got is, this is a flickering candle. I like the sound of that one. So that's just going to add some kind of gold shimmer going on there. You don't want it everywhere, but just that hint. And dry that off a little bit more. Might have that running. Yeah, once it dries, it's going to give that lovely shimmer. I do believe on this piece, I think I used some waxes as well, so that's a really cool idea. If you want to go back in with some gold wax, again, you can easily do that. So just drying off some of that shimmer to leave that lovely glistening kind of colour to it. I like to dry something off if I can, because obviously I don't want to make a mess further on down the line, so do try and dry off as you go in. This is kind of, you know, if you're ever unhappy or feeling a little bit down, get some sprays out and just have a bit of a spraying session. You can like create all kinds of wonderful pieces of work, and you know, not without a lot of effort either. So there we go. Again, that hasn't taken too long to do at all. So let me just take that away. Okay. So how does that look? See, you've got that shimmer going on there now as well. I really like that. That's gorgeous, absolutely stunning, and totally different to this piece. So same principle, totally the same principle. In fact, the cardboard looks really near enough the same. But again, you know, totally different. If you want something dark, you can go that way as well. But I like the look of that as well. So the next thing you want to do is, now I think I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on there as well. So I need to get some stamps, just to kind of accentuate some of the elements that's going on with the butterfly set as well. I've got loads of different stamps I could probably use. But bear with me a second. Right, sorry everybody, I was getting a choice of stamps that we could possibly use. So, lots of backgrounds, lots of different backgrounds I can use. Mescellanius is a good one. That's great. It's got lots of different stamps in there. Lovely to add a little bit of texture on. De-stressed, I like that one as well. That's nice to add elements to your projects. And then also I'd like this one as well, this background vision. That's a great stamp set as well. I like that texture and the letters and the words there. That's really cool. So again, this is great. Oh, do you know what? I nearly forgot as well. So if you haven't seen us this week, if you haven't seen us this week and it's the first time you've seen us or seen me, I did say the other day that do check out the website, because there is a summer sale on. Which is going on now. There's quite a few products in there. We're just making some room for new products, so please do check that out. There's 100 and, I don't know how many, but there's about 150, 160 products in there, or maybe nearly 200. I don't know, but there's a lot. So do please check that out. Now the code is summer30, SUMMER 30. So you will get a discount on all those products in the summer sale. So do put that code in on the checkout and you will get that 30% off. So that's great. So just thought I'd mention that. Yeah. So, right, let's get back to this. So I'm deciding now what I'm going to use. I think, you know what, I don't use this one often enough. So I'm going to use some of those letters there in that. again, just adding that little bit of texture and elements to it. This set, the set in itself, the butterfly set that I'm going to use as well, that has actually got loads of texture and elements in this set. I do love those circles as well, but I probably won't have enough space on here for those circles today for this large project, because I've already put texture paste on it. But I'm going to just kind of ink that up, and I'm going to stamp some of those kind of letters going on there freehand, just to add that little bit of texture going on, I think, and depth. So let me just get this stamp. Move some of my stuff out of the way. Right, okay, so now I'm conscious about what kind of colour I'm going to use here. So I'm going to probably use some oxide inks. I actually might use some. Yeah, I'm going to use some oxide inks. I'm just looking at what colour to use. So I'm going to use a combination. So I'll start off with a pick raspberry, because I think that will look nice going up there. So just going to ink some of that up. Again, going in freehand. Just add into. If I find it's not dark enough, I shall alter that. Oh, you can't see that either. I knew I didn't need a darker colour, so let me just get a darker colour. Right, darker colour, he says. Trying to get a colour that you'll still be able to see what I'm stamping. So let me just zoom in there so you can probably see. You don't want to see it too much. You just want that hint of there we go. You want that hint of letters and words. It's just going to add that depth to your project. I think I'm going to do a little bit there as well. So just being careful with where you go in with that. Now I'm going to use a different colour. On there I need a nice darker colour, so I'm going to use a green. So this one is Ice Spruce. So just, again, you're getting that hint of depth there, but you don't want it too much in the face, because you've got everything else that's going on with this as well. So so you just want that hint. Again, going freehand is always a good idea. There, so you just add into that. I might just have a little bit in the centre going on as well. There, you don't want an awful lot. Everything else is gonna shine as it is. So you want to be careful just not to overdo it. So just that hint. And I do like those little hints here and there as well. Right. I think I'll be done with that. So again, you don't want a hint of something, because you've got everything else that's going to be going on. Look at my fingers. That's what you call inky. Oh, Helen's saying there's about 90, so obviously a lot have already gone, but do please check them out. There's some really cool ones in there, things that I would want myself. So we've got this lovely project going on here. Now what you can do as well is you can always kind of add, if you want to, kind of like grunge that up or add some elements. I might get some Gildan wax as well. What colour have we got here? Antique gold. I'm not sure I want antique gold. I think that's a lovely lighter colour. King gold. That's a nice one. So this is some Gildan wax. Again, lovely Gildan wax. You only want to use a little tiny amount. Gildan wax, will definitely give you the wow factor on your projects. So I'm going to use a tiny bit, just a tiny amount there. Just take some of it off on your finger there. And you just want to go over, highlighting some of the areas that you want highlighted. Let me just zoom that in. I can sit, actually, I've been standing up, I could actually sit down for a minute. Right, okay. So, again, you can see that I'm just adding some of that gilding wax there. Just randomly going around. You don't want to be too exact as to where it's going. You just want that hint. As you can see, it's really starting to come to life. Just random going around. It's not going to go everywhere. Just a little bit here and there. Right. You just have to know when to stop yourself. So. It's always cool to look at that now. Right. So now you can see it starting to come to life. That's, again, this is you know, you've got to be in your element now. So I'm just kind of wiping what's left off there, and when it's in the light, when you wiggle it around, you're going to see that kind of sparkle a little bit. Let me just clean up my mess as I'm going. So the next thing I want to do is I want to stamp the butterfly out, and I've got one that I've already cut out as well. So let's just clean that out of the way. So that is how we are with this at the moment. Now we need to go on to the next section, which is stamping out. We're going to stamp the butterfly out, and we'll clear emboss him. Yeah, and then we'll colour him in. So let me just get my stamping platform. Just move this out of the way just for a second. Right, so that is looking pretty good. I do like that. Right, next thing is stamping. So I'm going to bring in my stamping platform, and I've already got a piece of card here, and I've got the large butterfly. So all I need to do is to get an ink pad. I'm using, for those who don't know, I'm using the VersaFine Onyx Black, because that's the first one I grabbed just now. Again, this is a large stamp, so obviously use a stamping platform where possible. Always a good idea to use. There's always going to be, sometimes when you're stamping something, you're going to miss it out, or you've missed bits when you've inked it up. So always best to check that as you're going. Again, that's looking nice, but because I'm going to clear emboss it, I just want to go back in there and make it a little bit darker, a little bit more blacker. So just go back over with your pad. These platforms are great, aren't they? So I'm just reading the comments as I'm going. So right, okay. Oh, that's absolutely stunning, isn't it? So let me just take that off here, and I shall clear emboss that. Clear mark, not the white. Right, so we want clear. I'm just using WOW. I do like WOW. Comes in a big tub, so it's really useful. Right. And I use a lot of clear embossing powder, so always a good thing to have. Place that down, and I'm just going to heat emboss that now. So this is again, you know, this is, I think what really changed things, you know, for this stamp set was when we launched the stamp set and then we launched the dies afterwards, and people absolutely love using the dies in conjunction with this. It just makes life so much easier. I mean, not that it's that hard to cut out, but you know, if you might as well just add the die in as well, because you'll always use it, always. So again, you know, that is an absolutely stunning butterfly. I like the kind of slight kind of grungy, kind of collagey elements going on there as well. That looks like kind of mixed media, and it's like a mixed media butterfly, and it's gorgeous. So I'll do like that. I mean, that looks great. If you want to stamp that onto maybe a book page as well, some of our DT have done that, and that looks absolutely stunning as well. So really, really nice stamp there. And then when it's when you've cut it out, now in the set, let me just get the set for you as well. I nearly forgot. So yeah, we do have the dies that go with this. So that is what it's like when it cuts out. So really, really nice. And again, you know, this works fantastic. You know, it looks great on a card whether you use half of it or all of it. It looks absolutely stunning. That is one of my favourites, my all-time favourites. And you know, if you've already got, I think I mentioned earlier, for those who arrived a little bit late, this works perfectly with the stencil as well. So you could use this, the butterfly ink stencil, and then you could put that on top as well, and that would look absolutely stunning. So you can see how everything works across the ranges. So I think that looks really nice. Okay, so let's get back to this. So I've already stamped it and then clear embossed it, and I'm not going to cut it out live because you can't really see me cutting it out. But I've already just die cut that out with the die cut machine, my electronic die cut machine. Right, so I'll start off by doing a little bit of colouring, but I've actually got one already finished. So so I'll just quickly show you how I coloured this in. Yeah, lots of different ways you can do it. I just used some of my ink pads here. Just try some of the colours here. Right, so you can use lots of different colours if you want to. So I've got lots of colours here. Straight down onto your mat. Get yourself a brush. I mean, you can use your Spectrum Noir pens if you want to use those. Your alcohol pens, anything that you want to colour in with, really. But it's incredibly easy to colour in. I mean, it just lends itself so you can colour any colour you want, and it's going to look absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to quickly go in with a couple of other colours here as well, just to show you how easy that is. Again, just a little bit of water, pick up some colour, and I do like to mix those colours up as well. That looks really nice because they're obviously water-based inks. It does allow you to. Let me just zoom in so you can see that a little bit more. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the camera and you can't see. Sorry, everybody. So just go in with those colours. And as I say, they're water-based inks, so you're going to get that lovely kind of mixed colour that's going on there as well. So very, very easy to do. So you can see exactly what's going on there. Lost some of my colours. Right, okay. So I'm not going to spend ages colouring this in at the moment, but you kind of get the general idea as to colouring this in. This is one of those therapeutic things that you can do just kind of any time. I know you can't see it on the camera, but some of the colours aren't coming out, so do bear with me. But I'll show you one that I've actually finished. I've already coloured in. Right, so I should show you those now. Okay. So let's just move that out of the way. I'm trying to clean up. Do you know what? This is the first time I've actually cleaned my desk in ages. Helen had a shock as well, so I did actually clean my desk up. I know, which is it's probably the first time in months, and it was so bad. It was like I couldn't work anymore. I don't know whether anybody else gets like that. I just couldn't do anything, so I had to stop and clean up eventually. Right. So one that's already coloured in. So if we bring back in our project, so this is our project. Okay, and then I've also coloured in one of the butterflies there. As you see, just let it coloured in as what I've just used the same kind of inks there with a little bit of yellow, nice, and the turquoise looks really nice. I've also, in the same set, you also get a smaller butterfly, so I've coloured in a couple of those as well. So they're really nice, because obviously I'm trying to think about, you know, dimension and weighting and balance. So when you're doing any project, just obviously in your mind think about how it's going to look when it's finished. You know, you need to, your mind likes kind of balances and things in threes, so or threes or fives or sevens, twos and fours. Kind of, it's too symmetrical. Sometimes your eye doesn't like that, so that's like the odds work better in your brain, I think. So the next thing I want to do is this is gonna. I mean, I coloured this and I didn't even know what this was going to come out like, but it, you know, it still works any way you want. It's going to work absolutely gorgeous. That's going to look absolutely stunning on there. And then I've also got a few sentiments. So I'm going to make a start by putting my butterfly on to start with. Again, if you want to distress the edges of that, you could do quite easily. But I like having it really pop out on that card. I think that's going to look really nice. I think that's going to look great. So first I'm going to do is I've got some glue. So the glue I'm using, this one today is the Pinflair gel glue. Again, it's a great glue. It's a silicone based glue, and it's great if you want to, you know, put your project down, move things around a bit. It gives you the ability to do that. Now, obviously, add dimension to your butterfly. Just kind of fold the wings over a little bit there. Just give it a bit of a bend there. And we just add in some of that kind of dimension that you're after onto your project. So I'm going to just bend that into a shape. Add some glue. Oops. A little bit more, I think. This allows me to give it that wiggle room that you want. So now I'm deciding as to where it's going to go. So I'm thinking it's going to go around about here. Okay, I'm thinking that's again, if you're not happy with it, always just move it around. So you've got that lovely kind of, I'd say, dimension going on there. That's exactly what you're after. I've also got a couple of sentiments from this set, which is fantastic. There are a lot of sentiments in the set. You've got things like butterfly, which is really cool. You've got the word change and effect. You've got every single thing you do matters. You've got change one thing, change everything. I like that one. You've got one of a kind as well. But, you know, see, the kind of thought behind this, the butterfly effect, is, if anyone knows like chaos theory and everything, it's a case of that maybe like the flap of a butterfly's wings could alter dramatically something else that happens around the world. And that was the kind of feeling that, you know, you can change one thing and it can change so many different things in your life, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of thought that goes on with the sentiments as well. So I do like that. So I've got a couple here that I've already stamped and cut out. So I've got the word butterfly, and I've also got change one thing, change everything. So, and I'm thinking I'm going to have the, I should move that to the center a little bit. So I'm just working out where I'm going to put things now. So I've got the choice of having might have the butterfly up there. butterfly, and then change one thing, change everything. And I've got two other butterflies, you see, as well. So I'm thinking change one thing, change everything at the top, and then I'm going to put the butterfly there as well. And then we've still got a couple of other butterflies on this as well, because again our brains kind of like there's kind of odd amounts there that go on. So we're going to have maybe a butterfly there, and we shall stick another one down here, I think. So I think that's going to be the basic layout of this. So I might move that down a touch, that'll fill that in a bit more. Right, okay, I'm happy with that. So once you're happy with your layout, just go back in. We can add to those there. I'm reading a few comments as I'm going now because I've got time, I can do that. Everyone, it's good evening wherever you are. Good evening. It's only afternoon here at the moment. It's 4 p.m. So I'm just going to put that butterfly there. Again, you know, you could have done it in white if you wanted to, white and black. It really does depend on what your project is and what you're doing and how it looks as well. I like that. I'm happy with that. Now the butterfly, I'm going to put the next butterfly on here because I'll know where to put him now. You know, and you can, you know, this, although we've done this on cardboard, you can apply the same principles to your card making quite easily, which is great. So I'm just looking at the place in here of where I'm going to put that. Again, you know, if you're never happy, always move it afterwards. You've got the ability to do that. Let's put it like that, right? Okay. And just see how that texture there of the lettering, that looks great against that butterfly there. I think I'm just gonna place that there. And then the last sentiment, again, it's nice to be able to put two. I mean, you could have had them any way you wanted. You could have put that on the inside if you wanted as well, if you had a card. Okay, so the last sentiment to go on. And I'll give you a bit of a wiggle to show you what it's like on a finished item. Just move that up a touch. Just give it that balance. So you're looking for a little bit of balance there on your project as well. Put my lid back on my glue. Okay. So let me just show you what we've got here. How does that look? Zoom in there. Again, you've got that glistening going on there, you've got the gilded wax, you've got some of the mica sprays coming through there. Again, just that hint of texture on there. I didn't have an awful lot of room to put any more stamping on there, but you've just got that hint of it. That's all you need at the top there as well. A little bit down there. It just gives it that little bit of depth. I mean, what you could have done if you wanted to is maybe you could have stamped first before I put texture paste on, but you may not have seen it through the sprays, so you just got to be careful as to how much you put on there as well. So again, that shimmer going on there, and just that, see, I've added a little bit of texture paste through the stencil on the bottom there as well. Just a few odd bits there. That really does, it gives it that touchy-feely look that you're after. So again, it was just a piece of cardboard. So just zoom it out there for you now. So there you can see it. Again, it's great to, you know, to turn something that you probably would have put in recycling to something that you could probably give to somebody. And I will bring in just the other one, just because it's totally different. same, near enough the same size piece of card there, but again, one that's kind of darker, which is great there. Again, using your black. See, if you use your black gesso, your oxide sprays that I've used on this particular thing will stand out quite a lot. But maybe for more of a summery feel and you know, a nice bright feel there, you've got something completely different going on there with that. Again, it looks so cool. It's just totally different, and I'm pleased with that, about how that came out. I mean, you know, it's great to be able to show people different ideas. Again, same technique but totally different, in a different way of using it. 2 different stamp sets, 2 different stencils, same principle, just different colour sprays, and you're going to get something that completely different. And that is what I love about card making or mixed media. Yeah, that was thank you, Ellie. I mean, what I wanted to do was try and complement them in some way. You know, like a dark one and a brighter one. Some people don't like that kind of style, so I love it. But I love this as well, so I like them both. There's not like a, you know, I don't have a preference. But again, this didn't take too long to do. We're talking an hour. So again, you know, and in fact, you know, I'm sure there's crafters out there who could do it probably quicker than I could as well. So let me just go to the front camera and thank everybody. Well, thank you everyone. Thanks for your positive comments, and it does mean a lot. There we go. So again, thank you very much for spending some time with me on a Saturday afternoon. I hope you enjoyed the project. Do like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Obviously, then you will get those notifications coming through. Check out the website. You've got stencils in there, you've got stamps in there, you've got dies in there. So yeah, do check it out. There's some great offers on some of those summer offer. So do check that out. Summer 30 is the checkout code to get that 30% off everything in that summer sale. If you see anything else that you liked, that you wanted, that's newer, then, you know, just chuck it in the basket at the same time. It'll be only the same amount of postage, so it's always a win-win for everybody. And thank you. Support your local stockists if you've got any local stockists to you that's stock our products. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed this. I hope you have as well. If you want more mixed media, let me know. I'll try and come up with a different project for you. I'll go back to doing some card making. We'll do some more clean and simple. We'll do some more Christmas. We'll do some more summer stuff that I've missed out on. But yeah, have a nice weekend, everybody. And thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. So take care now.